you're back with the Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes. And we're real excited to have with us Emma Benoit and Greg Dicharry, who is the producer of the film My Ascension. And you've got a premiere coming up.
Yes.
And so we're going to show the flyer that's coming up this weekend. So we want y'all to put those dates on your calendar. It's going to be Friday the 16th, Saturday the 17th at 7 p.m., and Sunday at 4 p.m. on the 18th at Celebrity Theaters.
Yes.
We're going to talk a little bit more about that now. But I think before we really get into our discussion, we have a trailer, and I think it would be beneficial for people to see that trailer.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about it. So y'all, can we roll the trailer to the film My Ascension?
Emma Benoit is gone, then no one has to think about her anymore. No one has to worry about her anymore. She's gone, and that's it.
911, what's that?
Oh my God, my daughter shot herself.
Okay, is she breathing?
Yes, ma'am, she's breathing. Stay with me, baby girl, please.
I want you to say now, every single time she takes a breath in.
Now. Now. Now.
I didn't have a clue she was struggling.
Seeing her in ICU, she looked broken, completely.
You start thinking immediately, where did I go wrong? Cheerleader, great grades in school, popular. Not Emma.
They said I may walk or I may not. They said there's a 1% chance that I will. For as long as I can remember, I have struggled with anxiety and depression. Well, it's the first time I've ever admitted that.
There is no age that is more likely to think about suicide and attempt suicide than high school kids.
We're afraid to talk about suicide. We think if we talk about it, it's going to give someone the idea. When the reality is young people don't want to die, they want their pain to go away.
But your story will say to someone out there thinking about death, maybe I need to pause.
I don't know if I want to put it out there for the world to see what I really have been through and what I'm going through. Ow! I just know that if it saves at least one person, or even helps one person to just stand up and be like, I have those feelings and I have those thoughts, and not to be ashamed of it, then it's worth it.
A local teen who lived to talk about her suicide attempt is sharing her story with the world.
One of the things I'm most grateful for is this new perspective I have on life. I really do see colors brighter.
If we could do a better job in training how to help each other and actually begin to empowering young people, that to me is the secret.
I'll be your biggest cheerleader, but if you tell me you're good and you're not, I'm gonna get it in your face.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have some talking to do.
I was just having so much suicidal thoughts. I would cry every day. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, I do. I get it. It's so necessary that people understand how you're feeling.
As you know, St. James Parish lost a precious 15-year-old 10th grader.
Your pain was gone, but ours just began. You can't help but think, why? Why was I safe, but he wasn't?
We're drowning out here. We need a lifeguard to send out a raft and pull us ashore.
This is not a school issue. This is a community issue. I want you to see what you can do for suicide prevention.
Every single day I wake up and I'm like, how did I get here? But then I have to look back and remember how far I've come. To really be thankful. Maybe this is my calling, Maybe my pain and suffering can help someone else.
I have this weird feeling. It's called hope.
It wasn't an easy journey coming to faith, but I'm working on it.
So, Emma, thank you for joining us today. And so, folks just got a chance to watch the trailer for the movie, but you were 16 when you attempted suicide. Now, how long ago was that? And this movie is a documentary is now coming to fruition to help others that may be contemplating the same thing.
Yeah, it's actually really bizarre to even think back to how I was during that time, because it feels like an eternity ago, because so much life has happened since then. But yeah, I was at the very young age of 16. It was the summer going into my senior year of high school. And I mean, I can go on and on about all of the ways I used to think and how I used to feel and things like that, but that wouldn't really, matter too much, because what matters is the fact that I was that age, and I was very vulnerable and very naive and didn't understand the weight of what my emotions could, take me to. I was unaware of mental health as a whole. I had never even really heard those two words together before. Mental health. I had never heard of that. So for me, being someone who, on the outside appeared like everything had it all together, and, my parents were happily married, I made good grades, I was a varsity cheerleader, et cetera, I didn't feel justified in my emotions. I didn't feel like they belonged to me. So with that, I never wanted anyone to see that. So I sheltered it, and I kept it from the most important people in my life, who would have been the ones to, break me out of that and help me through that. I kept them away from it. So, and you could say that was because I was 16, but I don't really necessarily think it was because of my age. And so having all that happen at 16 and now being 20, turning 21 next month, it's honestly bizarre. Like, there are no words, because it feels like I said a lifetime ago.
Well, you've done a lot since that time.
Yeah.
And especially in putting this documentary together to create that awareness for others who may be feeling that same way, to reduce the chance that they try suicide. And I know, Greg, you produced the documentary, but talk a little bit about how y'all met and connected and decided to do this film.
Sure. So I work in the mental health field with young people. I have for the last 14 years, running a national youth program, and had been in film years ago in Los Angeles, and then due to my own mental health struggles, kind of got out of that field and got into the mental health field. But I had done a previous film with a guy, Kevin Hines, called Suicide: The Ripple Effect, and we were doing a big premiere event here in Baton Rouge, and this was a little over 3 years ago. My sister had come across Emma online, where she had started a website and a blog, and using her story to try to help other people. And I reached out and to see if she wanted to be on the panel after the film. You saw a little clip of it in the trailer.
Right.
There's a little scene of it, which is her first time telling her story, which is in my Ascension, in front of like 500 people, in a big theater.
It takes
and
a lot of courage.
Oh yeah. It was really powerful. So I mean, we met, and I had brought my camera. We thought about maybe doing like a public service announcement type of thing, but had no intention of doing another film. But just getting to know her story, and really her passion and heart for wanting to use her story to help other people, and then also the fact that in working with young people with mental health challenges for so long, really saw the power that Emma's story could really have in helping other young people. Because unfortunately, there's so many more Emmas out there that are maybe contemplating it, or or have attempted, or whose parents have no idea that they're struggling. And so really it's a film for teens and young adults, but really for parents and families as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I know it's been a while in the making, but what a time to come out with that, because I feel like after 2020, it was such a hard year for teens and young adults. They had their life changed totally. They weren't, feeling any hope for a long time, just the country around the world.
And their support systems were disrupted because there was no more
life
school
was
or
not
social.
normal, even at that. And I did see some statistics that really in the last 2 years, even before that, the incidence has increased in teen suicide.
Yeah, and the numbers really lag, but there's some recent studies that came out that said based on emergency room visits for young people that have attempted suicide, it went up 60 to 70% for teenage girls. So it's really that population, and like you say, they don't have those social connections. They're more, during the pandemic, more into the probably social media and not really connecting with people. So it's definitely a prime time for the message of it out there.
Do you think that social media has put pressure for people to feel, young people especially, that they're not enough and they're measuring up against others' perfection as it looks on social media? Do you think that that's fed into the anxiety and depression about not being enough or not having it together compared to when social media wasn't as dominant?
I can answer that question, absolutely. I know for me personally, and I can really only speak for myself, but I do know for me personally that social media played a huge role in the fact of comparison, right? So I would look at social media to see what they had, see what they were wearing, see what they were doing, this, that, the other, and it really, little by little, it chipped away at my self-esteem and my self-worth, and I'm seeing that more regularly, especially nowadays with, all the social media platforms that we have now. I'm just seeing that it's really taking a toll on, young girls in particular, self-esteem, really.
Well, we are going to have y'all hang over with us because there's so much to talk about. So y'all stay put. We've got more with Emma and Greg after the break.
My biggest concern was my family and being able to see me come home every day and know everything is going to be okay. I felt comfortable that I was being treated by some of the best. There were some scary points along the way, but it's just kind of like been a little blip in the road.
Money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. Kay Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics,
health,
music and entertainment,
local agnet.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Whitetail Properties is not your average real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor in Mississippi and LSU fan realtor Cade Taylor have teamed up. Their sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. If you're interested in hunting, ranch, investment, and timber properties, Whitetail Properties experts have the right real estate for you. Call Jeff Taylor, 601-248-9433, or Cade Taylor, 225-719-0495, or visit whitetailproperties.com.
The Post on Church Point, a brand new event venue owned and managed by the VFW Post 3693, welcomes you to the bridal show of the future. Come out and enjoy the food, dancing, meet and greet with vendors, and win amazing prizes. Friday, August 6th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. For tickets, please visit thepostbridalshowgonzales.com or follow on Instagram. Located at 42430 Church Point Road, Gonzales. Vendor space is very limited, so hurry to secure your spot.
At Hightower Dental Concepts, we take a compassionate approach to family dentistry. Our goal is to make your dental experience comfortable and informative so you can make the best dental care decisions for you and your family. We're welcoming new patients to our dental family at Essen & Perkins, and we look forward to meeting you soon at Hightower Dental Concepts. Call us today at 769-0031 or request your appointment at info@dentalconceptsbr.com.
Young women are joining a movement to educate voters. Why? The need to represent our conservative and moderate values has never been more important. The values that made our nation the superpower it is. If you work, are in college, have children, every decision made at Louisiana State Capitol and City Council meetings impacts your wallet, your home, education, student loans, and everyday life. Become informed and involved through the LFRW Young Women's Initiative across Louisiana. Public policy impacts you and your family. Check out the Young Women's Initiative by emailing lfrw region1vp@gmail.com or call 504-382-3474. We look forward to talking to you soon.
There's a joy of life you'll find only in Louisiana. A spirit of celebration that takes your senses places they've never been before. Where expressions of joy are an art form and our way of life. Where an abundance of good food, good times, and great music means there's more than enough to go around. Come one, come y'all. Come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm John Goodman, inviting you to visit LouisianaTravel.com and plan your getaway today.
Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes, and we're continuing our discussion with Emma Benoit and Greg Dicharry about the documentary My Ascension and Emma's mission to reduce suicides in young adults like herself. So let's go ahead and tell people again about the premiere, because that is coming up this weekend. So we've got Baton Rouge.
Yes.
And tell us, where is Celebrity Theaters? And you have multiple showings there.
Yeah, so Celebrity Theaters, the Baton Rouge 10, it's a beautifully remodeled theater off of George O'Neill Lane, and we're going to be doing 3 screenings on Friday night at 7 p.m., Saturday night at 7 p.m., and Sunday at 4 p.m. All of those screenings are going to be followed by a conversation, discussion with Emma and myself. Big suicide prevention, mental health advocate Tanja Miles, who's here locally and who's also in the film. Some other great, folks. Kevin Hines is going to be there Saturday and Sunday, who's the gentleman I mentioned earlier, who I did the film with, Suicide: The Ripple Effect. So we're selling tickets to that through our website. So I'm sure we'll put that up there, but it's myascension.us is
yes,
how you can,
and that's up on the screen, myascension.us, and so you should get your tickets in advance.
Yes.
And you also have some other screenings in areas around the state coming up as well. Do you want to mention that? Yeah. Or just go to the website. What's the best way? I bet you're going to have a whole bunch after this one.
Yes, we are.
I really hope so.
And we're probably going to have some more here locally in this area, maybe in Ascension or more at the Celebrity. But we're having one on the 21st of July in Houma. And then another one that's going to be a little ways from home, but that's going to serve the river parishes areas out there. So if you go to our website, you can get information on those.
Great, because we've got listeners from all those areas, and we'll want to make sure and spread the word on that.
That's right, and it would be a great idea for any teenagers, young adults, or parents or family members. And if you say, gosh, I don't think I want to take them to the movie because they already have some anxiety and depression, this would be the time to bring them, to have the discussion, to open up what it is they don't want to talk about.
Exactly.
With people that can connect them with resources. This is really the key to helping people who want to not share how much they're hurting.
Right, and that was a big point of it, is really how utilize the film and Emma's story as a conversation starter, really to enhance suicide prevention efforts in communities, around the country and the world. Because we've had a lot of virtual screenings already, like advanced screenings with some communities. Colleges have hosted, behavioral health organizations, other nonprofits, and just to really spark, that conversation is the big piece of it.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage, if you are a parent and you're nervous about bringing your teen because it's something that you guys have never talked about, or it's something that's still pretty taboo in your home, I would encourage you. You are the perfect person to come, because I think that just by seeing the documentary film, not even really hearing from myself or any of the other panelists, I think it would really be a great tool to use when trying to bring up this topic, because it is still very taboo. And I know that parents, right, you're scared because you don't want that reality for your children. I mean, that makes perfect sense. So why would you want to bring up something like that to your child? But this film really does a great job of making it just a normal conversation like you would have about anything else.
And your children, your teenage children, young adults and others, we are all going to end up dealing with the issue of suicide. We all know someone who has committed or attempted suicide. And so the best way for us to prevent this is to talk about it and to be open and to seek help and relationships that matter. And this matters.
Well, and I think a lot of times parents, they don't know what's going on. They feel like everything is fine. And then they're shocked, and then they beat themselves up that they didn't know that was, happening. And I just feel like with what all we've all gone through as a country in 2020, I think everyone is a little bit more aware of how their children are feeling, how
Mental health.
how their parents
Yeah.
are feeling. I think that they know that it's a big issue and that they've got to address it. And when you look at the statistics, and I know that I believe it's like the second cause of death in
Second leading
young
cause,
adults from
yes.
like 10 to even 24. I mean, a range of young people.
And it's if you crush the numbers, which are kind of lagging from when they come out, but 20 young people a day in the U.S. under 25 die by suicide. So that's pretty like mind blowing. If anything else was taking that many young people, there would be a huge
There would be,
up in arms
yes.
and things like that. But one of the things we like to say is around one of the main causes or the main cause of suicide for any age is hopelessness. So it's like we say we're on a mission to eradicate youth hopelessness. So like if we can do more and not just address it when a young person already reaches that critical point of thinking about taking their lives, but if we're creating that awareness before, so when they first start maybe having thoughts of not feeling okay, they know it's okay to reach out. They have resources. They have peers that can all connect and
they
support
know
one
how
another.
to like control those and feel those emotions themselves, because that was something that I struggled with. Was I knew that I had people that I could go to. I knew that there were people out there that would support me regardless of what it was, but I just was so ashamed of having those feelings. So if we could just put it out there that it's nothing to be ashamed of, and that is a perfectly human thing that we all go through as human beings, is suffering and struggling, then it'll be a lot more of a lighthearted topic, I think, when approaching someone's mental health.
And I think a big thing of addressing it in school, so as part of the film, you'll see Emma works to bring Hope Squad, which is a national suicide prevention program, a peer-to-peer school-based program to Louisiana, which you'll see in the film. But, those types of things that schools can do, and that's kind of one of our missions with the film, is we will hope that more Hope Squads will get established in other parts of Louisiana, because this was the first one that was brought to Louisiana in Letcher High School. But having those kind of concrete things that young people can get involved with, and that parents and school administrators and others can support the young people, because ultimately, in order to make a big impact in reducing youth suicides, you have to get youth involved.
Right.
So maybe you need some connections with some of the superintendents of the school systems who might want to bring the film in to share, and then students would have the opportunity voluntarily to come watch the film.
Yeah, that'd be fab. I think that'd be phenomenal, honestly, because at least for me, I know that the targeted audience for me personally is school-age kids, and schools in particular, because I know that is obviously where most youth are throughout the day. And especially now that schools are starting to open back up again, I think it would be perfect timing to put something like this in front of the students and, spark this type of conversation. And even, pipe dream, they get a Hope Squad, right? Like, that would be amazing, because the Hope Squad in Letcher has really done wonderful things, and it really works. Like, having that Hope Squad program really does make a difference. So.
And we're going to have to share about that more. We'd love for y'all to come back and share more about that. And so you may have also seen Emma on Red Table Talks with Jada Pickett Smith and her mother and daughter.
Yeah.
And your story was so touching, it made them cry.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll bring national attention.
Yeah.
And since your story began here, we're just so grateful that you're doing all that you are to try and help students in Louisiana. But I do hope this goes national.
And that's what we say. This is a Louisiana made film. Louisiana girl, other families that are involved, and unfortunately children didn't survive their suicide attempts. A lot of Louisiana professionals, but it's really a Louisiana film, but really made for a national audience. So Emma's already starting to do a lot of traveling, like I was on the phone with a school district today in Florida in the Panhandle that wants her to come out and show the film and talk to their students. So it's definitely something that's much needed, and particularly now that things are starting to open up and can do these in-person things, it's really needed to bring communities together to kind of watch the film and have these kind of conversations.
So your story is a huge inspiration, but you also you have just taking not only just this movie and taking it and bringing a national audience to suicide prevention, but tell us a little bit about your life right now. We have about a minute or so, and I want to know what you're doing now.
Well, I actually, up until today, was employed at Baton Rouge Parents Magazine, doing some admin work for them, but I've today decided that I wanted to go both feed into this film stuff because
Wonderful.
it is my passion and it is what I thrive most doing. But my boss has been so gracious to let me still come to the office, use that space, so that way I don't have to be isolated in my house doing stuff for the film. So yeah, I have a job technically. I do a lot of stuff for the film these days, and I have a lovely boyfriend who I'm very in love with, and we just moved in together, and yeah, things are great. We're going to be bringing our puppy in soon, so yeah, overall my life is really great.
Well,
really
and
great.
it shows on you.
Oh,
I mean,
thank
you glow. You really, truly glow. And there's going to be a lot of lives that you touch and save. And I think that you are just a huge source of hope. For all of us. I mean, for all of us, you really are. So we're really thankful that you would come and share your story and be so candid and so open about something that is so difficult for people to talk about. And Greg, I'm so glad that you decided to latch on to this and put your talent and energy into it.
Well,
it's
thank
really
you
a
very
gift.
much. And we appreciate y'all shining light on it and all the, great work y'all do to, shine light on causes like this. So it's awesome.
Well, we are going to have you back.
Great.
And we will be at the premiere.
Oh, yay.
So,
That'll be so amazing.
So we want to help
Fabulous.
promote that. And so
Awesome.
thank you for being with us.
No, thank you for having us.
Of course,
We
absolutely.
really appreciate it.
Sure.
We would love to come back too.
And we're going to be right back, so hang tight with us. We're going to talk about world travels with Kathy. Kathy Pickerel will be with us. And we're talking about some fun places to go. Hang with us.
Yeah, we would love to.